Think for myself and I won't do what they say. Well, I think for myself and I won't do what they say.
Hello, hello, this is Gerald Celente. It's Thursday, September 9th, 2021. And here are some of today's trends in the news. On the market front, whoop, down, about 150 points, fourth day in a row down. What did we say? Going to go this way. That's right. You've been hearing me say it on Kitco. One show, George Gammon. One show after another on Trends in the News, in your Trends Journal. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all there. And Mr. Kawasaki, I was honored to be on with him. This thing's going down big. And what they're doing is going to make it worse. Oil prices today went down, even though production is way down in the Gulf after the Hurricane Ida. Shows you how weak things are. So you look at oil, Brent crude, still around $71 a barrel. And that's at that level, even though it should be much higher with all of the supply chain cut. Bitcoin. Took a hit a couple of days ago, back up to the 47,000 mark. That's a big signal to us. And again, think for yourself. Gold's up a little bit, and we're still seeing gold breaking very strongly because they're going to keep interest rates low around the world as the global economy begins to decline very rapidly because people are scared out of their minds. The media just keeps selling hype and fear. And the moron imbeciles believe the crap that spews out of their mouths. One of the big stories on CNN, the Cartoon News Network, I don't know, some celebrity's pregnant. It was like a front, but what the hell do I care? She's pregnant. This isn't news, but people believe it. American people don't believe anything's real until they see it on TV. Richard Nixon. Okay? You can look up the quote. That's how stupid they are, and they're even dumber now. I told you I was in Cape May and this past weekend, and it broke my heart to see what the people look like. As I said, they have a sign in when you're driving into Cape May that you could get on a boat and watch a whale watch. You don't have to get on the boat to watch the whale watch. You could see it all over the place, what people look like. They've lost their self-respect. They've lost their dignity. They lost their courage. They lost their fight. And it's global. People, how could you listen to a little fucking prick, scumbag piece of shit like Danny Andrews down in there in Australia? A little nothing of a boy. You look at this clown of a jerk-off. Look at that little fucking asshole. Like, that was disrespectful of me. I'm sorry. Assholes have a positive function. The shit coming out of that little prick's mouth. Locking down, telling people, whoa, you're not going to get vaccinated, you're not going to have any freedom. That's the next thing in Australia. Just like America. Once the land of the free. That other one down in there, Gladys been jerking off. Another clown. How could people take orders from these pieces of shit? And they do. Because they lost their fight. And I have to tell you again, it's proper language when people are trying to take your life and freedom away from you to tell them to fuck off. I had enough of it. Oh, no, that's not what they taught us in first grade. Natural gas prices are rising and could be the most expensive in 13 years this winter. Again, we've been writing about this in the Trends Journal. Inflation's going up. Remember that other scumbag fuckface, Powell? Oh, it's only temporary. Hey, shithead. Hey, where are all you little scumbags out there not calling this guy out? You've been saying temporary now for 6 fucking months. Oh, don't use fucking in front of months. China exports expanded in August. Why am I saying this? because of the facts. China's outbound shipments rose 25.6% this August from a year earlier. From a year earlier. And 19% was in July. You ready? Exports to the European Union, China's number 2 trading partner, jumped 29%. The U.S., China's number 1, up 16.6%. Hey, Trump, your trade war was great. You're another fucking arrogant shit. One after another. The 20th century was the American century. The 21st century, as I said, unfortunately, the Chinese century, because the business of America has been war, while the business of China is business. And then as it goes on, the business of China is going to get more war as they take over Taiwan and other places. And there's not going to be anybody there to fight them because Americans couldn't even win the Afghan war. BlackRock Fund is a milestone in China. It has raised roughly $1 billion for the first ever mutual fund solely run by a foreign firm that is allowed to sell to Chinese individuals. There they are. It's one big club and you ain't in it. BlackRock. BlackRock. Merger and acquisition activity on track to break records after $4 trillion of deals so far this year. Financial Times, okay? How long have we been saying this is going on? The big's getting bigger, and the rest of us are nothing more than little plantation workers on Slavelandia, so you better be, watch what you say, because you got no freedom. You's just a slave. Yeah. It's right in front of everybody's eyes. But again, as I look at the Americans and how low they've gone, how into the ditch they are, there's a picture here in my Zizzy, what Zizzy gave Honey Boy, the book that Doris Roberts, who played my aunt. It's a picture here of my parents' wedding. May their souls rest in peace. And my aunts and uncles and their friends. You look at the dignity of these people, 1934, the height of the Great Depression. They worked in fish stores, laborers, manufacturers. Look at them. Bezos, you can't come fucking close to them, man. Shove your billions up your ass. The class that these people had, you can't match. You too, Musk and Gates and Buffett, all your money. You don't have an ounce of class that can match these people, and this was the America. While you arrogant little finks with fuck you BlackRock with all this money taking over the world. Look at the clowns. George Gammon said it to me. He said, I've been reading a lot about history and about how the empires fell. And I forgot exactly what he said. But at the very end of the empires falling, he said, it was the weak controlling the weak. The weak. Look at these little dickheads. And I can't use the other word, but you can count on it if you take out a number and put in another letter. Running our lives. Economy pulls back, dashing hopes for fall boost. Wall Street Journal, only about a fucking month and a half late, 2 months, May we said this was going to happen. June, July, August, September, and now they're shooting their fucking mouths off like they know what they're talking about. When we told the subscribers of the Trends Journal this was exactly what was going to happen. Oh, it's pessimism porn. That's what the little prickheads in the New York Times call me when I call the Panic of '08. That's right, little fucking scumbags that are destroying our lives. And if we don't stand up and fight for freedom, it is over. Get it in your head. Deals set to give banks busiest year ever. Tie-ups in U.S. valued at $1.8 trillion so far as businesses make up for pandemic setbacks. The banks are getting richer. The bigs are getting bigger. All you are is a plantation worker on slave landia. Russia warns of global financial crisis. Why, that's a conspiracy theory. No, it comes from the Financial Times. COVID speeds up automation of low-wage jobs. Very important. Very important. No more cashiers. They're all going to be gone. All the low-wage jobs. We're going to see homeless like we've never seen in our lifetimes. If we don't reverse these trends, it's over. Because when all else fails, a little fucking prick, a little scumbag motherfucker in a country near you will take you to war. A Boris Johnson, a Tony Blair, a Biden, a Macron, a Sarkozy, a Merkel. What the fuck is NATO doing in Afghanistan? North Atlantic Treaty Organization. What the hell are you doing over there? A mess. They left a mess. When all else fails, they take you to war, and we're going to be going to the end of our lives when they take us to the next war. Office occupancy rates fell in August. Oh, this is only from the Wall Street Journal. How long have I been saying this is going to go on? And all the details in your Trends Journal, the implications. Not a word mentioned here of the implications. Not hardly a word. You know what it is in New York? 22% occupancy rate. And those little geeky shit scumbag motherfuckers and fatherfuckers at Silicon Valley with dicks probably smaller than that and dried up to you know what. That's at 20%. And they're the ones that started this. Microsoft's survey of more than 30,000 global workers showed that 41% of workers were considering quitting or... Yeah, guess what? We got a lot more here. Hey, ready for this? Americans struggling to keep up with other countries and exercise general health during pandemic. New global survey shows that Americans aren't losing weight. No, they're fattening the fuck up. I want a fat tax. The more you weigh, the more you pay. The more you weigh, the more you pay. You want to eat shit. You don't want to get healthy. I don't want to pay for it because you're escalating the prices of everything. Again, here we go. 78% of hospitalizations due to COVID are obese and overweight people. And that's according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Our healthcare costs are going up because of these people. I don't want to pay for your inability to take care of yourself and to rise to a higher level. I want a fat tax. The more you weigh, the more you pay. Again, new global survey shows that Americans aren't losing weight or feeling as energized during the day as much others from across the world. That we're going down the crapper. We're going down the crapper, and we got crap heads in charge. Biden announces new vaccine mandates that could cover over 100 million Americans. We've been patient, scumbag, shithead, sucking off the public tick, Biden said today. But our patience is wearing thin. What the fuck are you talking about our patience? Who the fuck are you to talk about me? Your patience, not my patience. I hold rallies. I hold festivals. I speak at events. Haven't gotten the virus yet. And I've been attacked how many times? It's the fatties. It's right here. 78%. And elderly people with pre-existing comorbidities. Patient. Biden's set of Americans who still refuse vaccinations. Hey, fuck ass, try to vaccinate me. Come on, come on. He said Americans who have received vaccinations were growing frustrated. Remember I told you about the fuckface guy that tried to start a fight with me? Because a guy I knew, a lawyer, because I wouldn't get vaccinated, and I said, these aren't vaccinations, they're gene therapy. Oh, and New Age, forget about it. The Omega Institute, Esalen, another guy knows a place in Costa Rica. New Age, fuck off. You were going about whole health healing. Now you got to get vaccinated to go to them. We have a discussion yesterday. He saw me. He said, I'm a doctor. A big fucking deal. And I started talking about who's dying, why. Well, we were on a different page. I said, yes, we are. I'm a doctor. You bought this shit. While America is in much better shape, we're in a tough stretch, and it can last for a while. President directed the Labor Department to require all businesses with 100 or more employees to ensure their workers are either vaccinated or tested once a week. Companies could face thousands of dollars of fines, $14,000 per violation. Labor Department, hallelujah! Salute to Stalin. America, the land of the free? Fuck off. What free? Freaks. The land of the freaks. Look at the people. Look who's running our lives. Look at the motherfucker over there in California, Gruesome Newsom. Witless Whitmer, divide the way, I'm in Ohio. How can anybody listen to these scumbags? He also said it would require that 300,000 educators in federal Head Start programs be vaccinated. And Biden said it would require the 17 million healthcare workers of facilities receiving funds from Medicare and Medicaid to be fully vaccinated. We have the tools to combat the virus. Hey, fuckface, the tools to combat the virus are to get in the best shape and health you can get into. Got it? Got it? Not a vaccination. It's not a vaccination. It's a gene therapy shot. That's the other doctors say, well, these gene therapy shots have been tested for 20, 30 years. I said, isn't this the first one injected into human beings? Well, and he went off the thing, just like these guys do. They won't answer the question. The expectation is, if you want to work in the federal government, you want to be a contractor, you need to be vaccinated. Press Secretary Jen Psaki spewed. The White House has said the federal government should act as a model for other businesses. Could you imagine this? These dumb pricks who just spent $2 trillion of our dollars to fight the Afghan war, about $6 trillion to fight the Gulf War and the Iraq War, and haven't won a war. They're our model. They're our model. Again, the weak leading the weak. Yep. The 6 points, White House officials: vaccinate the unvaccinated, further protecting the vaccinated through booster shots. You got it? Through booster shots, you got drug dealers in charge. Many of us are frustrated with the nearly 80 million Americans who are not vaccinated, Biden said. This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? How about this? Over 25% of new COVID-19 cases in Los Angeles County are fully vaccinated people. All right? How about this? Israeli study shows natural immunity 13 times more effective than vaccines at stopping Delta. How about that? How about that, huh? No, we won't talk about that. And to make matters worse, there are elected officials working to undermine the fight against the COVID-19, Biden said. This is totally unacceptable. Ready? This is not about freedom of personal choice, Biden said. It's about protecting yourself and those around you. This is propaganda that they will be writing about in centuries to come, in the decline of America. This is not about freedom of personal choice. You just took our freedom away from us. Personal choice? No, fuckhead. You just said over here that our patience is wearing thin from Americans who refuse to get vaccinated. So it's not our choice. Get vaccinated, Biden whispered into, get vaccinated, as he walked off the stage. All right, so now it's about protecting yourself and those around you. All right, if you're vaccinated, you're protected. Right? Right? 96% efficacy rate, the drug dealers sold. Right? So why are you saying it's about protecting yourself? It's up to me to protect myself. I don't need you to protect me. Scumbag, asshole, shithead, motherfucker, fatherfuckers out there, they're going to tell me, this is the book I worked on. I didn't write it, I worked on it. 1986, Natural Healing. I have an honorary doctorate from the National University of Health Sciences. Don't tell me what to do. This is not the land of the free, it's the land of the freaks. Back in December, when Biden was running for office, he said, no, I don't think vaccines should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand it to be mandatory, but I'm a lying son of a bitch like all the rest of them, like that Obama, yeah, the Nobel Peace of Shit Prize winner, yeah, him, one after another. No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand it to be mandatory. You're demanding it to be mandatory. You're a fucking liar. How come you're not being called out? He added, just like I don't think masks have to be made mandatory nationwide. I'll do everything in my power as President of the United States to encourage people to do the right thing. And when they do it, demonstrate that it matters. So I'm doing the right thing. I'm protecting my body from not being injected with a gene therapy drug that has never been injected into humans before. And when it has been injected into test animals, I'm told many of them died. Travel restrictions return in parts of Europe for U.S. visitors. Great for business, great for the GDP and tourism. UK to raise taxes for COVID costs. The little people will pay. So that's just some of it. Your new Trends Journal will be out next week. We must unite. If we don't, we're finished. And I'm fighting. And I can't win it alone. We're putting out a magazine that can't match anything in the world. Trendsjournal.com, trendsjournal.com, and Occupy Peace. And again, we're showing opportunities too. Homeschooling reaches critical mass. Interactive view. I wrote about that in Trends 2000 back in 1996. A lot of entrepreneur opportunities. As gloomy as this is, there are opportunities. Thank you for tuning in. And please stand up and do what you can for freedom, peace, and justice. OccupyPeace.com. OccupyPeace.com. Put your money where your heart and your mind is. And stand up for yourself. And don't get in arguments with people. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Just do what you can. We must unite. We have to come under one umbrella. And as you know, I started the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace, and Justice. It's just my thought of making it happen, but I need the support to make it happen. The church has begun. We have to get the parishioners, whatever God you believe in, that believes in freedom, peace, and justice. Thank you. This is Gerald Celente. That's some of today's Trends in the News. The COVID-19 war has changed the world, but who's prepared? What's next? It's in your Trends Journal. Trends Journal subscribers are prepared. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens. From the world leader in trend forecasting.